Hello, my name is Jadwiga. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm not gonna tell you a fairy tale. Today I'm gonna talk about organ donation. This is something completely different, yes, and please don't just say, oh no, this has to do with death and I don't want to face this subject. Please do, because it's really important. It is important that you make up your mind whether you want that or not, and that you know what's going on when you say yes. So there are two different kinds of organ donation. The one is the postmortem, which we are talking about here, not about the living donation. The post-mortem. You might say, oh no, I'm still young, I have plenty of time. Maybe not. Maybe you have an accident tomorrow and your loved ones are called to your bed in the hospital where you are going to end your life. And then the doctors will come and say, may we take organs? And your loved ones look at each other and say, we don't know. But they have to make a decision. So they start discussing, and maybe they don't agree with each other. One says yes, the other says no, and they start arguing at your deathbed. And this has two aspects. Your loved ones don't have the chance to peacefully say goodbye to you, and you don't have the chance to peacefully say goodbye to your loved ones, no matter whether you are still conscious, still have your consciousness or not. This is a process that doesn't need words. So your loved ones have to make a decision, whether right or wrong. You are dead, you don't care anymore then, but your loved ones have to live with the decision they made. And maybe they doubt, was this really your will? And they feel guilt or shame and doubt and fall maybe even in a depression. So I guess you don't want that. So make it easy for them and make up your mind. But before you do that, I want you to become aware what's connected with that. So let's say you say, yes, I want to donate, or your loved one says, yes, that's okay. That means your body, before it's really dead, is put on machines that keep your heart beating, that make you breathe, that keep your skin warm. Of course, that only happens after 2 doctors have confirmed that your brain is dead. And nobody wants to be called back after brain death. This would not be a life anybody would love. But your loved ones have to leave you while you seem so alive, because you're breathing, your skin is warm, your heart beats. And this is really hard, even when they know with their mind that you are dead, that this is the end. But still, just keep that in mind. And then, once they have left, you are connected with these machines. Then the light is turned on and people come with little coffins, and they sedate you and start taking maybe your kidneys, your liver, your heart, your eyes, your pancreas, whatever can be used. And the people who care for you, the health caretakers, they have to care for a dead body, because you need care. Of course you need care. And these people, they choose their profession to help people to become healthy again, to recover. And now they have to take care for a dead body. This might cause some conflicts, maybe even depression. And then we have the recipients. The recipients who maybe since years hope for an organ. They hope for somebody to die that they may live. This is not easy, to hope for somebody's death to keep me alive. And on the other hand, they refuse to face their own mortality. I think that's quite important in our lives, to become aware of that and to go through this process as well, if we have the chance. So the question is, what is death? Are we really dead when our brain does not function anymore? Is this death? Or I think that dying is a process. There is no switch. Here life, there death, and this is the cut. No, it's a process. And the question is, what happens during this process? I don't know, did I already mention that the body has to be sedated before organs are taken out? Yes, but my question is, what is with my soul? I believe that my soul lives in my body as long as this body is alive. But now, is my body dead or not? It is kept alive with machines, and is my soul able to just say, goodbye, this body is no longer my home, I leave? Or is it kept in that body because the heart still beats and it still breathes and it's still kept alive? What happens with my soul? And then we have to consider that recipients sometimes change their behavior after they got an organ donation. And doctors often say, yes, this is the identification with the donor. But usually a recipient only gets to know the sex and the age of the donor and nothing more. So how can they identify with another person? The explanation that makes more sense to me is that the organs have a cellular memory, and that this might be the reason for a change of behavior. But then the question is, for the recipient and for his family or her family, who am I? Am I still the person I was before? Does my family still recognize me? What does that mean? So how much is left from me? How much is there from another person, from another soul? This might be depressing, or I don't know what, but it's not a situation we want to be in. So I don't talk much about this black market of organs and about the justice, who gets an organ, who does not, who may live, who has to die. Is it a question of money or connections or whatever? But even if we leave all that apart, organ transplantation still is a big business. We should keep that in mind too. And then some final questions. For example, Does the dead body has a dignity? Or is it just a, a spare part warehouse? Is it ethically and morally acceptable to do that? Or is it necrophilia? How do we think about that? Does the end justify the means? Yeah, these are difficult questions, and I encourage you to think about it, to discuss it with your friends, your family, and no matter how you decide, I don't judge, I don't say yes or no, do it or don't. I just want you to become clear what it means. And then when you made up your mind, and I, for myself, I have changed my mind a couple of times during my life, but that's another chapter. Once you made up your mind, take a little piece of paper in your wallet and say, yes, I'm a donor, or no, I'm not. This is very helpful for everyone who is involved around your death. I wish you a good discussion about that. Bye. And if you liked it, give me a thumb. And I'm very happy to hear your comment on that subject. Bye for now.